All right, what's up, everybody? Earlier today, I called the Atheist Experience, hoping to have a discussion. I removed the commentary that I did afterwards, after the discussion was over, because I think that the video was kind of sloppy. And on my other channel, I don't really want sloppy content up there. I'm going to be uh, talking about some of the same stuff that I'm going to be talking about here and what I talked about in that video, plus some additional things concerning Matt Dillahunty and the Atheist Experience in an up-and-coming video. But when I called that show today, I was very disappointed. And here's the reason why I was disappointed. When I first entered the show, I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? I have been suspecting for a while that there's been some dishonest games going on where they are decreasing the Christians' volume when they enter the room. The reason why I say that is because when I first called the show, I was actually using my smartphone, and the audio quality seemed to be fine. Interestingly enough, I noticed that after I had gotten some positive feedback in that video, the second discussion, when I decided to use my condenser mic, my audio seemed to be horrible. And there was a lot of over talking from Matt Dillahunty and some of the people on that show. Now, it was very strange to me why my volume would be that low. And there was a lot that I was actually saying, and unfortunately, people weren't able to hear it in the live feed. So I left it alone for a while, didn't really touch on it for a long time until Brett Keane actually went on the show. Brett Keane actually, he called the Atheist Experience, but he also was broadcasting it through his Google Hangout. And one thing that I noticed was that his audio quality was perfect. I believe he actually has the same condenser mic that I have. His audio was good. It was perfect. But when I went over to their feed, he was cutting out all the time. His audio quality it was horrible. And there was no reason for his audio quality to be that bad, other than the fact that they were tweaking with his audio when he came in there. That was very telling to me. But even still, I didn't want to just, throw accusations at him, the Atheist Experience. I went in, and when I came in, I said, look, I noticed that there was a difference in audio when Brett Keane called and how the audio was on the show. So since it's basically easy for you guys to overtalk, the caller and their volume be cut off, I don't remember specifically what I said word for word, obviously, but I was basically trying to tell them that, look, let's just try to make sure that we're not over-talking each other. So, we wait till each person is finished with their point. They took that as an insult, and it quickly, went downhill from there. Quickly, they made this accusation towards me that I'm streaming the feed like Brett Keane was doing, and I was doing that obviously, but I didn't want them to use that as an excuse. So I quickly shut the call off. I disconnected the call. There was going to be no sound loop because everything was disconnected, and I was only on the phone. But we can see when you actually go look at the last video, the video that was running on my channel, when the Hangout ends, what is said when the Hangout ends. And from that mark afterwards, when you watch the live feed on the Atheist Experience, he's continuing to make accusations towards me that the host on the Atheist Experience, I don't know what his name is, but he was one of the hosts. He was continuously trying to make this accusation towards me that I still have my live feed running on my Hangout, and he quickly removed me from the call. Now, he obviously lied, because anybody can go back and check that the broadcast ended shortly before he made that accusation towards me again. So that leads me to believe that he probably wasn't getting any feedback. I don't think that he was actually getting any feedback, but because he was getting the panel on the Atheist Experience was getting bad remarks and bad feedback concerning the Atheist Experience, the call that they had last week. I think that he was basically, the host was basically trying to make sure that it wasn't being funneled, shown on my channel again, because they were made to look bad on Brett Keen's channel. You get what I'm saying? If they don't have that ability to overtalk you or to decrease your volume, they really can't drown out what the opposition is saying. So what I'm trying to say is, look, you look at the Atheist Experience, you look at Brett Keen's channel, his discussion that he had with the Atheist Experience, it's like you're seeing what isn't being shown on the Atheist Experience, how the theist is actually saying a lot more and is actually making better points, all the way to the extent of making the atheist look bad. So it's inconvenient for the Atheist Experience. I mean, because they can't censor that when it's being funneled on somebody else's channel. And I think that that's what he didn't like. And the reason why I say that is because when Brett Keen called, the host actually told Brett Keen that he didn't mind if he were actually to broadcast the show on his channel. That's what the host said. When I was broadcasting it, for some reason, he didn't want that to happen. Now, there's one of two possibilities. I do have over 260 videos or something like that out there, numerous different videos from the in response to the Atheist Experience, ranging from 1,000, 1,200 views or so to about 7,000 or 8,000 views in response to the Atheist Experience. As far as I can see online, I do not think that there is anybody online that has been as aggressive as I have towards the Atheist Experience. So there is a possibility that they recognized my voice when I called in. And that's the reason why they were quickly making excuses. Or what makes more sense to me is due to the fact that they did not look good on the broadcast that Brett Keen funneled in through his channel, they didn't want that happening again, because like I was saying, it's different when you're on the Atheist Experience and you can, censor the opposition so that all points that will be inconvenient for you are not going to be heard. That's one thing. But when all of those points that are being ignored are heard and they're made to look bad, they don't want that to be shown. So they obviously wouldn't want it to be shown again based on the bad feedback that they just received last week. I mean, it was literally last week with the same host on the Atheist Experience who told Brett Keen it was fine for him to broadcast. He gets bad feedback through that broadcast that Brett Keen ran. Now all of a sudden, that's not okay. So to me, it's just all of this has been very, very telling. And of course, you look at some of the comments that some of the atheists are leaving on Brett Keen's show, his channel, after he did that discussion. You got these Atheist Experience fanboys that are even more clueless than the Atheist Experience panel coming over there and trolling the comment section. And I do mean that. I mean, I've been looking at the Atheist Experience for a while, and I guess this is one of the reasons why I've drawn my attention to it and why I've been so aggressive with the Atheist Experience, is because I don't get it. Why are we giving them? Why do they have the attention that they have? I mean, why do people even listen to them? The reality of the situation is that most of the atheists that come into my rooms on this channel or on my True Empiricism channel or even on G-Man's channel or some of these other channels, they're a lot smarter than the panel that I see there on the Atheist Experience. I mean, the only reason I think that we unfortunately are forced to bring our attention to the Atheist Experience is because of games like this. They mislead people, because most of the panel and Matt Dillahunty, if you listen to how they respond to certain people, they are woefully underhanded. I mean, many of these people, even on topics that I know very little about, I can say with confidence that I know more than Matt Dillahunty and some of these people that are on that panel talking about certain topics. That says a lot. That tells me, what are these people doing trying to sit over here on that panel and act like they're an authority on something when they know so little about some of these topics? I mean, a 14-year-old kid by the name of Command the Christian went over there on the Atheist Experience and he just stuck it to Matt Dillahunty. He made him look like a fool. And you can see throughout the discussion where Matt Dillahunty's like itching to remove them from the call, him from the call, but he was staying quiet, and Matt Dillahunty wasn't able to do so. Since then, I've noticed they've all been pretty quick to remove people from discussions. I mean, it's very, very difficult to get a point in edgewise without being removed. And I'm going to hit on some of that actually in this future video that I'm actually putting out. There was one point actually that I want to try to include into this response. When Matt Slick was actually pressing Matt Dillahunty, he was asking him some basic theological questions. And like usual, there was a lot of faces of awkward silences with Matt Dillahunty, and he was just basically being forced to say, no, I don't know what that is. And that's sort of the way that Matt Dillahunty needs to be approached. Not like he's some sort of intellectual. Somebody needs to put him aside, not let him just make things up from the top of his head and try to push that on people authoritatively. Ask him basic concepts in philosophy or science. Ask him basic things, and I'm more than willing to bet that almost every statement that will come out of his mouth is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Well, Matt, do you know what this means? Do you know what this scientific concept means? Do you understand abductive reasoning? Do you understand what, you know, the signal transduction is? Do you get any of these things that have to do with intelligent design? Let him get ahead of himself, and then just, you know, go to town on him with that. Unfortunately, you know, I've seen, you know, I forget what the two philosophers' name. Matt Dillahunty was in a debate. He had somebody on his side, and there was two philosophers that they actually debated. They wiped the floor with Matt Dillahunty. There was an embarrassing part where Matt Dillahunty was trying to take his information from some I forget what the individual's name is. He's a neurologist, I believe it is. Sam Harris. He got something to do with neurology. I don't know specifically what his credentials are, but he was trying to take some sort of argument from Sam Harris, and didn't work out for him, and he was forced to backpedal. I actually have another video in response to that too. I got a lot of responses to the Atheist Experience, actually. Let's see what I got here. I got just here what I have, what I want to show people. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess the last one makes 7. 8. These are the ones that I can see. I probably have to search through more, but I can see 8 so far. If I search through the 270 or so videos that I have, we could probably find even more. But Skylar, now let's move on to Skylar. Skylar made a remark in a comment to me shortly afterwards. Let's screen share this really quick, guys. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. So this is Skylar's comment that he made. True Talk TV, True Empiricism, straight up just went on the Atheist Experience and claimed anywhere from 1,000 to 40,000 people watch his video. The 40,000, I think I was rounding it off, basically. Let me see. Well, 36,859. That's highest viewed video so far. 1,000 to 40,000 people watch his videos. What a dishonest prick, he called me. He also got caught trying to stream this conversation live on his channel. Only problem is their material is copyrighted. Well, first of all, my phone call isn't copyrighted. I wasn't screen sharing anything or anything like that. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. My phone call, my smartphone, the discussion that I was streaming through my smartphone, I'll do that whenever I want. I don't care who likes it. And if he wanted to take me to court over it, he can try it, but it would be fought. I actually have, well, I'm not going to tell you who's connected to my family, but if I wanted to take him to court over this, he'd lose, trust me. And plus, that's not how it works. there might be some laws or something like that that have to do with recording phone calls, but I wasn't broadcasting a show. We were on a phone call, and that's a slightly different situation. And I think it's just disrespectful anyways to begin with. If you got somebody calling your show, you better show them enough respect to be able to use that, themselves. If somebody's calling you and they're talking with you and they're putting their effort out to have a discussion with you, that's just disrespectful. And it just shows what little respect he has for his callers. People are there to just be disrespected. That's what these people have in their mind. But yeah, he says 1,000 to 40,000 views. On average, I get about 1,300 to 1,200 if I leave a video sitting for about two weeks or so. So a little bit over 1,000 if I put a video up back to back, and don't, just every week, it'll probably reach around 400 to 500. But yeah, most of my videos they're 1,000 to 36,859 if we're going to be technical. Next video is 23,822. Video after that is 10,000. This one's 7,000. This one's 6,000. This one's 4,000. This video with just me talking off the top of my head for 2 minutes is 3,510. It's not a response to anybody. This one, it's a 2-minute video that I did on evidence of lies and fraudulent information, 4,316. This one's 2,072, 3,302. This discussion that I had with DPR Jones is 2,145. This is 1,500. This is 4,000. Well, this is the same one, I guess. That doesn't count. Yeah. Most of evolution is if I leave them sitting for about 2 weeks, they all pretty much get about 1,400. This one we got about 878 because I didn't let it sit there for about 2 weeks. That's how long it takes for my viewers to watch my videos. I don't have, with the atheist community here online, I noticed most of them don't have lives, so it's very strange. If some of these people have less subscribers than me, and if they put up a video within an hour, they'll probably have 300 or 400 views, which is very strange to me how everybody just funnels in. It's like everybody's just waiting for one of them to put up a video, and they all just start watching it. And I think that they just do that so that they can just go and vote the video or something. I don't know why or how that's possible, but that's pretty much how it works with them. With my channel, it takes about 1.5 to 2.5 weeks for one of my videos to reach the peak of their views. After about 2 weeks and a couple of days, I noticed that video doesn't get any more views, and it usually stays at around maybe 1,300, 1,200 or so views, somewhere around there. So yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, and don't stop getting ahead of yourself. Let me see what these guys are saying. I usually, I think I muted this post. Yep, I muted that post. Usually when they all start coming in, I just, ban it. But Osmandus Ramses II says, it sounds like he saw Brett Keane call in the Atheist Experience last week and decided to pull the same stunt. Well, if you watch what Brett Keane did, Brett Keane made a freaking fool out of the Atheist Experience. He did a very good job with what he did. It was very wise what he did. You see, if you're on the Atheist Experience and you're not going to be heard, well, why not call the Atheist Experience and do it in a way to where you can be heard, right? Well, why not have the audio being presented in a way to where, people can hear your side as well? I don't think there's anything wrong with what he did. Now, I attempted to do what Brett Keane did, and unfortunately, how dare I? They actually thought that I was being rude, or how did he put it? How did the host put it? He said, one of the things that aggravate him the most is when people come in laying out demands for debate. What are you talking about? This is what he thought was ridiculous. Hey, how about you and I don't interrupt each other, and we make sure that whenever one of us are finished, then we respond and start talking. The fact that he had an issue with that tells me that he knew that he needs to overtalk people. So wait a minute, we can't let that happen, because wait a minute, if the Christians start saying something that I can't handle, then how am I going to BS my way out of the discussion, right? That was probably one of the most ridiculous things I think I've heard so far, but like I said, this needs to be laid out in a way to where everybody can see how the event unfolded, and the video that I'm going to be making is going to be set up that way to where people can see it just like that. But I guess I'll keep on reading the comments. To show me, Skylar says, show me a video where you have 40,000 views on it. Well, I don't have 40,000 views on the dot. I got about 36,800 views. So somewhere around there, right? Round that off, 40,000 views, dude. That's well over, you know, the amount of views that you got, Skylar. All right. I got a comment. I tell you what, though, if one of us, like in our community, were to have played the same games and pulled the same stunts that were played today and that have been played this week, this last 2 weeks with the Atheist Experience, we would not have gotten away with it. And you guys can't deny this. I mean, that's just very, very, I don't even know how to put it. I'll just say it's very telling. That's what I'll say. I mean, you don't remove somebody from a call for asking you to make sure that we're able to speak respectfully, like adults should speak with each other, and then continue to make accusations that you're hearing audio feedback after it's cut off. Like it is impossible for him to keep on hearing feedback from me, from my end, because the broadcast was ended there. The broadcast was ended there. So the fact he started accusing me of that afterwards indicated to me that he wasn't hearing anything to begin with. He thought, I think it was just a matter of coincidence that, we were both obviously broadcasting, but I think that he thought that, I don't think he knew that. I think that what he thought was that Brett Keane, that maybe he can make that accusation or something, and he can, maybe use that to get out of the call. I'm going to let somebody in here, guys. Somebody's trying to come in. Yeah, so that's just how I feel about it, man. I think it's ridiculous, man, what I seen today, and I think it definitely needs to be documented. I don't think that this is the type of thing that I need to ignore. This is the one thing that I really do need to make a response video over it, because people need to see that. I've been seeing way too much from the Atheist Experience, and I don't know why anybody's even taking it seriously anymore, unfortunately. I mean, this show is getting 30,000 to 40,000 views on average with each response each video that they put up. I don't see any of their videos doing any less than that. And my question is, why? Are you having a productive discussion? Do you guys that are listening to me actually think that this show at all, in any way at all, portrays an actual discussion that an atheist and theist would have? No, hell no. But it doesn't go anywhere like that at all in the real world, okay? So we got Antonio in here. What's going on, Antonio?
Nothing, man. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. These shows are always out in force in some sort of capacity. I see them again here on your video, man. Just talking about you. I guess they don't think you had any basis for, in their words, or rather, in shows like Sam the Scientist, words being, I guess. But the thing is, man, the bottom line is any honest person can see that those people were playing ridiculous games. I mean, come on. Are you really going to say that people can't restream when people do this type of stuff all the time? People, whether they're small YouTubers or big YouTubers, people stream at the same time all the time on many different shows. They'll have guests or something. They'll be streaming, their show on one end, and then the other person will be streaming their show on the other end, and then they'll have two different shows going on, but the people will be talking to each other, and they're gonna say that people can't restream it or people can't put it on their channels. That makes absolutely no sense. It just seemed like some absolutely convenient way for them to try to just suppress any sort of potentiality for them to look ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
They have all these arbitrary rules that most people online just simply do not have. And they don't have the honesty to admit that. But instead, they just do what they always do, and they attempt to endlessly spin everything. And I mean absolutely everything, to the point to where it's like, man, how dishonest are you people? Now, when we see what happened months ago, I'm not going to get into any specifics about it, but I think you know what I'm alluding to. When we see blatant lying happening in front of our face, and they go to that extent to spin it like the way they did, at that point, they just revealed to themselves totally that they are absolutely not to be taken seriously. That they will go to those depths to spin absolute blatant dishonesty. And if they would spend blatant dishonesty like that, then even the smaller stuff, they ain't gonna have any problems spinning. So it's just ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely pathetic. And these people are just, just at the bottom of the barrel, man.
Well, you know what? And I'm going to be honest, this does bother me. Most of the other crap that goes on in the community, I'm sort of used to it. But this is what has always bothered me. The fact that not only they're doing these games and playing these, trying to pull these tactics on the Atheist Experience, but the viewers by the hundreds won't call that out. To the hundreds to thousands won't call that out. And a matter of fact, they'll try to support that and actually try to accuse us of doing what is being done in the video, like everybody's stupid and can't see what actually happened. You see, the people in the atheist community here online, they just don't get the picture. They don't understand that, look, there's a reason why your community is the most distrusted group. I mean, people distrust atheists more than any other belief system or view out there, and there's a reason for it. You guys, if you guys want to start seeing changes happen within your own community, and you want people to start approaching you in a way to where they, think that you're actually going to be honest and a productive discussion can actually happen, you people have got to start calling out what's going on in your own community, because it's just amazing to me how it doesn't stop. You know what? Like, I can keep on going all day about the things that I've seen from the Atheist Experience, because I've watched the show several different times, and I've listened very carefully to see what's happened. Actually, a while back, about 3 years ago or so, right around the time before I started putting YouTube videos up on my channel, at the Atheist Experience, they used to actually let you comment on their channel. I used to leave comments all the time on the Atheist Experience and have discussions with atheists all the time on a regular basis. There was other theists as well. I remember distinctively leaving comments and having discussions with certain atheists. Now, when you're reading the description on each of the uploaded Atheist Experience videos, they have an excuse as to why they don't allow the feed to be shown, allow comments to be shown. They say that, well, some of the women guests on the show have been attacked and stuff like that. That may be true, but I don't believe that that's the entire reason why. I think it's another form of censorship, and here's what I mean. I remember distinctively having very in-depth debates and discussions with people online, not cursing at them, not anything like that. I don't think I've ever cursed anybody out here online at all. Just in-depth discussions with certain people through comments. They deleted my comments and they banned me from commenting on 2 different channels. This was before they remove the comment section. Now, they didn't ban people for the same reasons why I ban people, where you have some trolls that have been known to just name call and be disrespectful either in hangouts or just attacking you in the comment section. You know, like some people have thrown racial slurs at me. Some people have just been disrespectful or just, you know, they troll it in certain ways. It wasn't anything like that. It was just having a discussion with somebody. So yeah, I do think that that's exactly what's happening. I think that the Atheist Experience, they do the best that they can to make sure that no strong arguments or no strong theists can get their word out in their presence. And by doing so, and by decreasing the volume of all the callers that call in, they're able to control the discussion and censor who comes in and is able to press them or question them on certain things. It's almost like they are trying to give an impression to the viewer that they are an authority when they are not. It's almost like they're trying to lead people to believe and think that they know more than they actually do. And anybody who knows more than them, they're going to be removed. They're not going to be allowed to speak. Pay very careful attention to some of the future discussions that you see on the Atheist Experience. Just notice that pattern. The weak theists that come in timid or not confident, they're allowed to continue speaking. They're usually bullied, and they're dealing with a lot of condescending remarks directed to them, and they're allowed to continue speaking. But theists that come in there, that come in bold, respectfully, but disagree firmly, they're quickly removed. And if they're led in a direction, they're usually led in a direction where they're forced to give an answer that the atheist in the call wants them to give. It's not like, you know, say Antonio was an atheist and I was a Christian, or vice versa, and the 2 of us were having a discussion with each other, and you know, when I ask him a question, he's able to freely think. That's not how they want it to happen. If you freely think on their show and you are going to come up with something completely different than what they want, then they're not going to allow that to happen. They're going to remove you. It's like, imagine if I'm asking you a question, have you stopped beating your wife today? Yes or no? That's the only answer that you can give, right? If the next word that you say is a clarification of that, then you're going to be removed from the call. And that's exactly what Matt Dillahunty does. If you answer in a way to where, like, look, I haven't been beaten my wife. It's not yes or no, because I've never beaten my wife and I never will be beating my wife. So no. Oh, no. You got to be removed from the call because that's not what I asked you. If you can't answer a simple yes or no question, then, you know, you're gone. So it's like I've been saying, and I've been saying all along, look, these people, they're not trying to have a discussion. When they tell you that they're open to the truth and that they are atheists because they just disbelieve or have a lack of belief in God or gods, that is a load of crap. These are people who zealously refuse to hear anything that anybody from any standpoint has to say, whether it be philosophy, whatever category of science. These are people that are sticking their fingers so far in their ears, they are grabbing their brain and scrambling it to the pieces with their fingers. This is what they're doing. And any honest person who's really stepping back and paying attention to what's happening can see that. And I know it's a little bit long-winded there, Antonio, but you know, yeah, and I'm just seeing this happened over and over and over again. I can't believe the type of remarks and comments that are being left by a lot of the atheists. What happened in that discussion, even if you don't like me, even if you don't agree with my approach, you have got to admit, to continue making an accusation when it is live, everybody sees the broadcast end there. It's continuing to broadcast over on their channel, and I'm still being accused of broadcasting it. Clearly, he was making that up. I don't even think that he was hearing it being broadcasted to begin with. I think that just because I mentioned what had happened with Brett Keane at the beginning. He was suspecting that, but he didn't really know, and he wasn't really hearing anything to begin with. He was just trying to make sure I wasn't broadcasting it, just in case it didn't go good on his end, and he wouldn't look like a fool again on, you know, the live feed. That's what I think happened. But even the remark, again, I think the remark that he left to me, to think that I was somehow being rude for asking that we both wait for each other to finish speaking, that's probably the most ridiculous accusation I've received from any atheist thus far, I think, on the internet. Like, there was no reason for him to say that.
And the bottom line is, the game with them is spin everything. Here's what I say. If they can't spin, they can't win. And for the benefit of those listening, if they can't spin, they can't win. They spin everything. They endlessly twist everything. They endlessly distort everything. Again, it has to go back to the example that I gave earlier, where we saw blatant lying. And I mean the most blatant of dishonesty, just flat out lying, happening right in front of our face. And they twisted it and spun it to try to make us look like the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go way out of your way, when you are so enamored in a particular worldview, when you are so brainwashed and so predisposed to a particular position that you would go that far in to twist things, then there is something else going on beyond this mere great debate. There's something else going on, you know, under the surface. And it's something not good.
If it's who I think you're referring to, I think we caught him in more than one lie. We caught him in at least 4 or 5 lies in 1 week. I think, is that the one that we did the live hangout on?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think we did 2 live hangouts on him. And I left some comments. I actually took some screen captures of it and actually shared it over G+. And they're undeniable. I mean, just lied right through his teeth. And I was receiving comments from people like Positively Godless and others like, who cares? I mean, and all these other remarks. And it's kind of funny to me that those are the remarks that they give us whenever we flat out catch them in lies. You know, if we were to do the same thing, the same people who are telling us to leave it alone and to be quiet would never leave it alone. They probably mirror it. They'd probably be making their own responses over it with some commentary. You know, that's the type of thing that they would do. And it's just this hypocrisy and inconsistency that we need to be doing a better job in pointing out. Like, every time it happens, we need to take screenshots, download it, and make sure that we have some file on the computer so we can come back to it later on. That's what I've been doing. I got 128 gigabyte card, something like that, or those USB drives, and at least 10 or 15 gigs I've got of different videos and stuff like that I've downloaded from these people and screenshots so that I can come back to it later if need be. And it's sad. I mean, it really is sad that that's the environment here online that we've all grown to become used to here online, that we know what to expect. Atheists online are going to lie, and you have to have insurance because they'll delete comments and remove them and all that other crap in order to save face. Now, some atheists are going to be listening and say, well, True deletes comments and removes comments, and I do. I delete comments and I ban people for reasons and good reasons. You don't have to accept that, but usually the reasons why is because there's always name calling or they're trolling. I never delete any comments from anybody whenever they're actually trying to offer some valid criticisms or they're having some sort of discussion with somebody. So I think that, that's the difference here. When somebody's deleting comments because they're lying or they made some sort of accusation, like making some sort of racial slurs or things like that. Those are the type of things that I'm specifically talking about.
But it's a strategy, man. That's all it is. It's a strategy. They know. whether they admit this or not, every last single one of them know that they can't win an argument against an informed Christian. So it's a strategy. It's a way for them to frame the pretext. I'll say that again. They have to frame the pretext. They have to shape everything up. It's a strategy, man. They have to frame the pretext in order to shape the narrative. And when they can shape the narrative, they can constantly engage in double standards. They can engage in deception, dishonesty, and they can always come out on top no matter what. You just gotta watch these people, man. And like you said, like we gotta catch these people in the act and expose them. We gotta beat the drum till you ain't got a drum to beat anymore. I'll beat the drum so much that I'll be beating thin air.
That's unfortunately, that's the good way of putting it, man. I mean, some of these people, I mean, even some of the Christians, they tell me, look, you should leave it alone. You shouldn't get involved with them anymore. You shouldn't be paying attention to them anymore. They're not offering anything. I've had even some, well, I wouldn't say atheists, some non-believers that were kind of getting frustrated with me with responding to Dragnock. As I don't think Dragnock realizes this, but there's a lot of people that dislike him based on how he's been acting. That's a different story. I'm not going to get into that, but I think that the problem is that a lot of people don't realize that we keep on responding to these people, not because we take them seriously, not because, you know, they're I don't know how to put it. I don't want to say not a threat, because they are a threat if they're going to be lying and spreading misinformation, but they're not a threat in the sense of, you know, being able to actually offer any points to refute. It seems to me it's always the same type of tactic, like we'll mention Dragnock, like Dragnock, his obnoxious behavior. He fails, so he goes on to keep on, you know, being obnoxious afterwards and keeps on repeating things based on his ignorance. And then Fiona over here on the sideline plays stupid for him and doesn't call it out, even though he was clearly mistaken in what he was saying. That's the type of thing that I'm talking about. We sort of have to keep the issue going because, in one sense, the secular community will stay quiet about it and will actually, in some cases, start to support it. So there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of effort to call out misinformation or liars in the community. There's either people trying to stay silent about it, letting it continue, or there's people that are supporting it, knowing themselves that what they're supporting isn't true. And you go look at some of Jacqueline Glein's video, like that Zeitgeist hypocrite that she put up, like she got hundreds of thousands of upvotes on that video. And that is some pretty basic information that people can go check out. That was just what she was saying was clearly wrong. I mean, no scholar would ever use the same type of information and argue about it from that way and from that perspective, obviously. And even, you know, just an average layman, if you actually do the research, you'll find out that what she's saying is wrong. So you only have this interpretation of hundreds of thousands of people supporting that video. Either the hundreds of thousands of atheists who were supporting her video was ignorant, or they were dishonest. They didn't care that what she was saying was wrong. All they cared about was the fact that she was an atheist going against Christianity. So that's what I'm trying to say right now, that when we're responding to these people and we keep on going after them, yeah, I get that a lot of people see that they're sort of idiots, and a lot of them, they're not that smart. But we're not going after them because they're smart. We're going after them because it's a very large crowd that tends to mislead people. And whether it be dishonest, it's beneficial to point out that they're lying. So, you know, maybe in the future, if people keep on seeing that lying, they'll learn not to trust them, and they're just going to be disqualified from that end. Or if they're idiots and they don't know about the topic, well, then maybe people will get the picture that this guy's uninformed and I shouldn't be getting my information from him.
Here's the bottom line, man. These people have become the masters of confusion. They become the masters of obfuscation. They become the masters of misdirection. What they want to do is they want to try to keep your eye off the ball at all times, and they want to keep you chasing your tails. That's what they want to do. They want to keep people chasing their tails, and they want to keep them distracted. This is nothing more than against these people, because the bottom line is this. There's so many things in Scripture that illustrates this thing called the noetic effects of sin. And for those who don't know, for the benefit of those who don't know, the noetic effects of sin is that sin has become such an ingrained part of their mindset. Their rebellion from God has become such just an essential part of their lives that it impairs their ability to think clearly. It impairs their ability to be honest, ability to think critically. And it gets to the point to where it gets so ingrained, they get so centered in their rebellion, they get so set in their rebellion that they have an aversion, a necessary predisposition to argue against anything which contradicts their worldviews. That is the noetic effects of sin. It's literally an infection on the mind. That's what it comes down to. And they've gotten to a point to where it's not even about honesty. It's not even about discussions. It's just about becoming masters of confusion, manipulation, misdirection, deception. That's all it's about, man.
I was talking with myself muted. Sam says in the comment section that, let me go back to the comment section. He's saying, it seems weird to me that Ronnie is so focused on drama. Well, that's what this channel is for. That's the reason why I actually removed the last hangout that I did, because I don't want that type of situation on that channel the way that it was presented. And we're pretty much redoing it here for clarification. I'm going to redo that, what we're talking about right now, and I'm going to put it in a video where it's laid out in a more productive way so that people can see points by points what it is that I'm talking about, because I'm actually going to be bringing in more information that was not brought in here, because people need to see it. It's really important for people to see what's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much what this channel is for. This channel is mainly for drama. Sometimes, it's just to have general discussions, but I'm trying to separate both channels and make sure that the drama isn't actually happening on my other channel.
But there's a reason why these people are the most trusted group of people out there, as you rightly point out. More and more people are starting to wake up to their nonsense. Now, if you look into these group of people called social justice warriors, not all of them are atheists, I will say that. But a great deal of them who claim to be social justice warriors are atheists and act pretty much dang near, the same as these people that we come across here online. And a lot of people are waking up to the games that these people play, almost the same games we see these atheists play. You'll see pretty much these social justice warriors taking pages out the same playbook. And so, yeah, there's a reason why these people are pretty much, by and large, one of the most mistrusted groups of people out there. And more people are starting to wake up to their nonsense.
Right. That's one of the reasons why, look, they keep on trying to accuse me of being a lolscar, right? Well, they try to say that with everybody pretty much that is active in defending their faith. That's usually when you become an enemy of this community, analyst, is when you're active to the faith, or you push the limits too far and start going after them. A good example of this, I guess, would be Nate Cunningham. Nate was very respectful to their community. He was very cool with everybody. He said something that they didn't like, they all went after him. That's pretty much how it works. If Fiona were to start talking more about her Christian faith, and actually starting to be critical towards the same people who she sits in rooms with that are being critical towards her faith instead of being silent. She's going to be attacked, and I guarantee you, they're going to find a way to shun her, and they're going to try to attack her personally. That's exactly what's going to happen. So that's pretty much, you know, what I'm seeing with them. They're always trying to attack us, and they're always trying to twist things on us. But that's why I don't really care. I mean, like, they don't get how they're looked at from people outside of this community. And what my goal is to get people from outside of this community to see how they are. And that approach that I've been taking, it's been a slow approach, but it's been working. There's a lot of people who have sent me messages saying, look, man, I've been struggling with these questions for a while. I watched your Hangouts, and you answered some questions and really helped me a lot in a very positive way. I've received a lot of remarks from that. The name calling and the accusations that they throw at us, like we're a lol scout and stuff like that, yeah, it's within their community. But for the Christians that are listening, ignore them when they're making these remarks even to you, because look at 99% of every single person that's in their community, 99% of them don't even get what any of our topics are even about anyways. They're very lazy. The only thing that they do is they point the finger at you, say you're dumb, and that's pretty much as far as it goes. There's no intellectual thought that's going on in their head. It's just name calling and trolling. It's a way to be hurtful and to latch out at people because they have some sort of insecurities going on with them. They're angry at God for some reason. There's something going on with them in their personal life. So they've brought themselves in this community here online to where they feel like, you know, they have people that they can count on, and they have people that, you know, that are like they're part of a clique or something. And this is doing is it's pacifying an emotional hatred that they have towards what you stand for and your beliefs. That's what it's all about. They're angry at God for some reason, and they're lashing out at you. Some of the others, I think that they don't really care, like Dragnox, for example, or Sam, or some of the other people. I just think that they're arrogant and they're smug. And unfortunately, that arrogance is so great with them. I think that they don't realize it, but they're actually very close-minded. That's personally how I feel about both of them. I feel about a lot of the atheists in our community. I think that they're very close-minded, and I think that they're arrogant. And that arrogance, unfortunately, sort of makes you not really want to associate yourself with them. But like I said, I mean, people outside of this community, they see what's going on here, guys. So whenever these people are trying to throw accusations at you like that, like you're an idiot and you're dumb, just remember that here online, they talk like this here online, but none of them would ever talk the same way with anybody in the real world. In the real world, if they were to talk the same way that they talk about certain things now, with, you know, in public, with a diversity of different people from different belief systems, agnostics, Muslims, Ishmaelites, Christians, Mormons, whatever. The majority of the people in that crowd outside of this little community would be looking at this community with the exact same, in the exact same way that I've been describing them. And I know that because I've used to go, actually a while back, I used to go witnessing to everybody over in Chicago. I actually grew up in the city of Chicago. I used to go witnessing everywhere, and I've actually been involved in different organizations. And I've been in some discussions with people, interestingly enough, over atheism and over certain things. And they sort of tell me the same thing, especially about, you know, internet atheism. I've had some very interesting discussions. So that's why I know that discussion isn't what I'm saying about the atheists here online. Most people, even off of line, they're aware of what's going on here. So what the accusations that they make towards us like that, it's nothing to be proud of.
Take a look at this comment here by Scientist Sam. Like, this is projection, this is pure gold. I notice a particular predisposition to fall back on buzzwords like projection. Now, when you actually point out, when any Christian in general is pointing out the nonsense of these atheists, they have keywords and buzz phrases that they constantly like to fall back on. One of those keywords and buzz phrases is projection. It's like they're not even actually making any arguments. They're just kind of, you know, throwing back their fallback buzzwords to keep from actually dealing with the issue.
Well, is he trying to say projection too, though? Because is he trying to say projection to what I directed to him, being arrogant and closed-minded?
I guess he's just saying like an amazing amount of projection. I guess I don't really know what his point is, but I guess he would try to spin, just another way to spin things, to try to say, or you're just trying to push onto others what you yourself are guilty of, which he gave absolutely no examples of. He just asserted projection. And this is one of these things they do. They just make assertions and they don't back them up. Or you're just projecting. I know that atheists do this type of crap all the time. And the name of the game is to constantly get into a particular mindset and repeat the same thing. Well, ad nauseam, right, to where it shapes your thinking, and then one person does it, and then another person does it, and then they get more and more people to do the same thing. And because so many people are reiterating and repeating the same thing, they magically think it has some sort of credibility because a lot of people are doing it. And then you'll have people doing the same thing, this theist will see something clearly messed up going on, and then you'll have 100 different people, right? 100 different people. They won't really actually refute. They'll just be like, "What projection?" They're just used to the next to them doing it, and they just repeat the same thing. It's literally sort of I wouldn't call it domino effect, but it's sort of like it's contagious. I think that's the better word for it. It's like contagious. They find people who agree with them, and they just repeat the same things over and over and over again. And they do it in such a way to where they try to use it as sort of a sleight of hand measure, basically. They try to, be really, really slick with it. And thinking, if this many people, see what you're doing, then, you must just be projecting, or you must be doing this. And that's just not the case at all. It's just, one of the many techniques that they use to fall back on, and they're not really saying anything. It's just all smoke and mirrors, man.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's just pure negativity without any substance. It's, I don't like what's being said, so I'm going to make accusations. That's what it is. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And they all sort of follow the same type of pattern. I mean, if you put out a video, one of the ways that if you're watching a Christian video, if you're coming across a Christian video online, and anybody do this as a test to see if what I'm saying is true or not true, randomly look for videos that might have to do with the great debates. How you're going to know it's a Christian video is this. Before you even watch the video, the dislike bar is going to be overwhelmingly more than the like bar, right? That's how you're going to know that it's a Christian. Why? Because atheists dislike everything that is against their position or is defending the notion of Christianity. Even if what they're saying is true, they're going to dislike it because they're an intolerant group that doesn't like hearing things that counter their position. They're just like the Muslims. They're very, very intolerant. The only difference between the Muslims is, the killing going on over there, but they're pretty much a lot like the Muslims. You know how you're seeing with the radical Muslims, for example, how they're always talking about how Islam is a religion of peace. Right? They're saying that all the time. The radical Muslims, that is.
At least the Muslims are honest with their worldview. At least they let you know up front about it. The atheists don't even do that. They'll try to pretend like they're being honest when they're not.
Right. Well, I'm talking about like the radical Muslims. They'll try to say, well, Islam is a religion of peace, right? That's what they always try to say, and then you're seeing them killing each other and doing all that other crap. The atheists, they call themselves the brights, the logical ones, the skeptics, free thinkers, but everything about their behavior and attitude is the direct opposite of that. They say that they're open-minded to the truth, and if somebody were to just give them the evidence, they'd follow that evidence where it leads. But by the masses, they try to censor and fight against anybody who might say anything just vaguely true that is in defense of Christianity. Anything that has to do with Christianity, where the scholar talking and there's a debate, and you know that this is the truth. You can test to see if this is true just by randomly looking for Christian videos or atheist videos, or just don't even look for random atheist or Christian videos. Just look for something that might have to do with the great debates and random topic before you click on that video, or before you watch that video. You will be able to see who the atheist is and who the Christian is in that video based on the dislike ratio and what is being said in the comment. You'll have a bunch of atheists saying projection, oh, uneducated idiot, you know, crap like that. That's the type of thing that you're going to be reading in the comment section, because the atheists, they just hate. They really do. They hate.
Dude, you had a gaming video, not even talking about any subjects whatsoever. You had a gaming video up, and it had dislikes, like a lot of dislikes. I'm like, are you serious? Like, they literally pretty much click dislike the moment that they're sub to your channel and they see this person's uploading a new video. They just go straight to it and click dislike. That's all they do. Right. Like, I've posted some videos of some pretty much irrefutable evidence of the election being rigged, not even talking about atheism or theism. And they, you know, downvoted the videos. I'm like, are you serious? Like, this ain't got nothing to do with atheism or theism or anything. Because whether you are a believer or not, there have been people on both sides of the belief realms of the belief planes who have said, yeah, we see, you know, unprecedented levels of rigging in this election. And when I put up those videos, they thumbs them down. Like, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, pretty much. It doesn't matter what you actually talking about, things that are typically talked about in the great debate community, like atheism, theism, evolution, intelligent design, or whether you're just talking about things that you're generally interested in, or things that have nothing to do with it at all. If they see that you're a Christian, they're pretty much going to thumbs down your video point blank.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments, and Dave says disliking a video is not censorship. Well, of course, disliking a video isn't censorship, but when you are—
Nobody said that, though.
Yeah, what I'm basically trying to say is that when you are putting up a video, when you just randomly just go look for videos on YouTube, just randomly just go look for videos that have to do with the great debate, type in some sort of keywords that have to do with the great debate, and click on a video that will have to do with the great debate. And before you watch that video, you're going to know who the Christian is, because the video is going to be massively downvoted. And that, even if what's being said in the video might be true, right? Even if what they're saying might be true, even if they're making good or decent points, that video is still going to be downvoted. With myself, that's not how I approach whenever atheists are talking. I actually subscribe to some atheists, and I actually upvote their videos when they do a good job in their responses. When Scientist Sam, actually, he just made a response video to me in response to my previous video. I actually upvoted that video because I think he did a decent job on that video. I think he missed the mark.
The Mason Atheists have recently uploaded some videos that I thought made some good points. I upvoted them. I looked at the video first.
Right, you watch the video for it first, and that's not what it seems like atheists do. It's like they're on a mission to fight everything that has to do with Christianity to such an extreme. It's like, calm down a little bit, you know? Calm yourself down. They're so angry and bitter. That's all I'm trying to say right now. And it just shows. It shows. It really does show. And I don't think it takes a lot of effort for people to go out there and look for that video, look for a video to where they can see what I'm saying, because it's true.
It absolutely is true. I mean, come on, man. When you are posting stuff that has nothing to do with this community, when I'm posting stuff that has nothing to do with this community, and it's getting thumbs down anyway, because they know we're Christians. That's the bottom line. The game is to try to discredit us. And nobody said that thumbs down a video was censorship. But let's not pretend for a second that they don't try to do it as a way to discredit us. Because the bottom line is people are viewing these videos, and your average person is probably not going to look at the actual video in its entirety before they make a judgment call on it and give it a thumbs up or down or whatever they want to do. Most of the time when people are looking at videos online, they might check to see, how many thumbs down or ups it has. And then they look, well, this video has a lot of thumbs up. This dude might know what they're talking about, or whatever is being talked about in the video. This person might, they might have said something that's really interesting, funny. They may actually have some good content here, and then they'll watch the video. But if they find a ton of thumbs down, then they'll probably be more inclined to not look at the video. And let's not pretend that this is not their game. Game is to, get as many thumbs down on Christian videos as possible to create a visual representation of a way to discredit believers. That's what the game is about.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that I've got over about, 1,200 or so, around those subscribers, somewhere around there. And I started looking through my subscribers, and I found about 45 or so people who are very familiar within our community that are atheists. And it just so happens that that's around my dislikes every week. Every time I have a video up, it's always around 45 or so, 50 dislikes. So clearly these 50 or so subscribers are coming over to my channel for the only purpose but to dislike my videos. And I say the only purpose because sometimes I'll have a video that will be up there for maybe 2 minutes. The video might be 10 minutes or 15 minutes long, and somehow I've already got about 11 dislikes or 10 dislikes. So if the video is going to take longer for you to watch it, obviously they're not even watching the video. They're just coming over there to dislike it. And I actually took some screenshots a while back. I think that was when Arcane was coming to this channel, and we were actually having discussions back and forth, because Arcane actually used to be an active host on this channel right here. And I took screenshots of it, and I had 15 dislikes before the video actually went live.
Wow. And I'll tell you something, man, I got a lot less subs than you, and the same thing's been happening to me. There's no reason why I should just have barely over 200 subs, and I'm getting, 5 thumbs down within the first 5 minutes of a video that I post up that's like 10 minutes long. There's no reason why that should be happening.
Yeah,
just goes to show you the same people follow, Christians like us around and have this endless effort, this endless need to discredit us. That's all it's about, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you guys can't keep on expecting people to take you seriously, that you guys are open-minded to the truth. When you're part of this community and you let that happen, or you don't see anything to that effect when it happened, there's maybe 1 or 2 times I'm going to have to be tell the truth here, actually, because 1 or 2 times in the past I know that there's been some atheists that have questioned, okay, why is this video disliked? They thought that there was some decent information on the video, like the video that I did on fraudulent information on the scientific community. I sourced some articles from the New York Times and some other sources. There were some people actually saying, well, there's no reason to dislike this video. But most of the time, I got to say that doesn't happen. Or, another situation was multiple personality, for example. He even agreed and acknowledged that Matt Dillahunty, they do tend to switch the topic, and they switched the topic on me when I was speaking with them. But that doesn't happen too often. It doesn't really happen too often in their community. And I really do think that if both sides, both the Christians and atheists, were to be a little bit more aggressive with the people in both of our communities that are causing the trouble and that are causing the drama in our community, then the community would be a heck of a lot more productive than it is now. Yeah, you know, drama is always going to be part of what's going on here, but when you got people that are just downright lying and people that are just trying to attack people personally and tear people down and stuff like that, that's not needed. We're not. That's in no way productive, you know, and it doesn't seem to me like that's being called out enough, especially from their community. I mean, I'm seeing it happen all the time, and a lot of the times, you know, you're not even mad. You're so disgusted. You don't really know what to say, and you lose your words as to what you should say in response to what's going on. Because it's not just like sometimes it's not just a vague lie. It's an outright lie right through their teeth on camera while they know what they're doing is a lie. And the hundreds of atheists know that it's a lie because it was actually recorded, and they still don't care, all because of the fact that they want to go against the Christian. That just amazes me, the fact that they think that they're actually getting away with that. And
but check this out, man. They're not listening. And like I said, if they can't spin, they can't win. Like, check this out. David says, what did he say here? Hold on. Criticizing arguments is not discrediting believers. That's not what we said. We didn't say that at any time. We didn't say criticizing arguments is discrediting believers. Those words never came out of any of our mouths. So why in the world would he even bring that up? If you can't spin, you can't win. And there's another example. Hold on. The whining makes it entertaining. Oh, okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. The endless need to spin everything. We're literally pointing out reasons why we think that there's like just not a fair ground that's happening here. We're pointing out reasons why. It's obvious that if you have a video that's 5 minutes long and you're getting downvotes that are like 5 or more downvotes within like the first minute, that the people are not looking at the video, that is objectively true. That is objectively true. How is that whining? In what universe is that whining?
Keep in mind, this doesn't always happen, but I'm also referring to certain situations where you guys know when you're getting ready to start a hangout and they're giving the countdown before the hangout starts, nothing's happened yet. When that is showing, I'll have sometimes 15 dislikes before the video even goes live. Now, this doesn't happen all the time because I think that they realize that maybe they can't go overboard with it, but that has happened a few times actually, and I've actually taken screenshots when they've happened. That's telling me that there are people who are, I think the majority of my dislikes on my channel, they are people that are using multiple sock accounts, or they are people that are just subscribing to my channel so that they can dislike my video. Because when you look at the ratio between the people on my channel that are actually Christians compared to atheists, there are more people on my channel that are Christians than there are atheists. I know that, you know, some of the people in our community, they like to say that, well, people are only subscribing to my channel so they can troll or, you know, make fun of me or whatever, something like that. But it's simply not true. If I've searched through my channel and I've received comments from some of the people who've been subscribing to my channel, and I've looked through my channel, scrolling through my channel and leaving comments to a lot of them, my subscribers, and I know that many of them are people who support what I'm saying, and that very few of them, in comparison to who I know are Christians, are atheists. So I don't
on believers, not believers, but you only focus on people who discredit believers rather than people who legitimately argue against your position. There's really nothing to focus on because the overwhelming majority of people that we get don't argue against our position. It's not even something that we have to just pick these people here and focus on them only. Pretty much over 9 times out of 10, they won't be legitimately attacking our position.
I gotta say,
legitimately attacking our position, then chances are they probably wouldn't be engaging in these trolling type tactics or anything like that. And we can actually have a mature, good discourse here. But the overwhelming majority aren't attacking our position though, man.
I don't know what Dave S is talking about. I've had him in my room before, and we've had a pretty respectful discussion. But we've had people, all sorts of people in here that have legitimately tried to argue against my position, and we pay attention to them. And we multiple personality. He's a regular that comes in some of my hangouts, and we always have great discussions. I've yet to say anything negative about multiple. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's quick on his feet. He's got good points to make, and we have good discussions because he doesn't troll, and he responds to you, and he makes good points. And so that's just simply not true,
He's an honest guy, and I think he's very, very genuine. He is very, very charitable too.
Well, look at what Christopher Hitchlap too. Like Christopher Hitchlap, he does have a bad habit in trolling people, but he's been in several of our hangouts, and he's sometimes he's a good guy to talk to. So it's not like what he thinks it is. It's not like what you think it is at all, Dave. I mean, we have a lot of good discussions on our channel, despite the fact that you don't want to look at it like that. A lot of people try to legitimately argue against our position, and we have very good discussions over it. It's just that what we don't take kindly to is people trying to come in our rooms and condescend to us and try to call names and troll, because they're used to that type of crap on JD Kane's channel or on Steve's channel. We're not interested in that, okay? That's not what our intention is. Our intention is to have a dialogue, have a discussion with one another. And I think that's what you're confusing, unfortunately, because the problem is what's going on a lot in your community, and that we unfortunately have to deal with that problem. You're sort of, missing the point that that's not what we're looking for. The people who come in and they try to actually cause trouble, and where we have to deal with a certain way in our room where drama ends up being produced. We really do try to avoid that as best as possible, man. And usually when people do try to come in and causing drama, and they don't make a point to justify any of their positions, we usually end up booting them from the room so that we can make sure that they don't derail the discussion, and we can make sure the discussion stays productive.
He said you don't respond to his videos. He says, you don't respond to my videos. That's why you had to rely on accusing me of committing a straw man. Like, didn't you not respond to like more than one video that he's posted up?
Yeah, the one video I suspected that he was BSing me. I'll just say it like that. I think that might be what he's referring to. But the other video, obviously, I took a little bit more time. I left some things out just because I said that maybe we can talk about it live on his channel. But I responded to him, and I responded to him sufficiently based on what he was saying. So that's not true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why in the world didn't he ever take you up on the offer to have a discussion? If he really wanted to have a discourse here, then Dave is a smart guy. He could have had it on your channel or his channel or however he wanted to do it at any time. That could have been something that could have went down, and it never happened. And I never, from what I can tell, I didn't see any video say, yes, I think that's a good idea for us to have a discussion about this, and let's do this.
Yeah, Dave, if you want to have a discussion, Dave, we can have a discussion on your channel. You don't have to have it on my channel. I don't think that you're, an aggressive guy to where you're going to try to, play games like some of these other people do. So if you want to have a discussion on your channel, we can. But you're wrong by saying that, no, I didn't respond to an abductive argument at all. Because what it seemed to me, I'm responding to this from memory, but what it seemed that you were doing is it seemed like you were basically trying to quickly move into rephrasing my argument as if there was something wrong with my argument to begin with. I mean, whether it be in deductive form or abductive form. I think, didn't he want it in deductive form to begin with? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so. I'll have to, it's been a while since I've checked those vids out. I'll have to go back and look just to make sure. So rather than, making an errant statement, I'll just...
Yeah, well, I want to be I want to be careful as well, because if I say the wrong thing, I know I won't hear the end of it. And all they got to do is take a little snippet of where I say the wrong thing because I'm talking about it from memory and try to use that against me.
But let's point out something crucial here. Now, when you made your response to him, right? It was, I can't remember. It was, you made more than one response video to him, but in one of your response videos, Cliff Stamp actually was commenting under it, and I think he agreed with some of the things that you were saying, and he gave his own commentary on what Sam was doing, right? And so basically, what we got going on here is there's more than one person noticing that the mistakes that Dave was making. Yeah. And Cliff Stamp, he doesn't agree with our position as far as I can tell, but the dude is a very smart guy. He's very charitable too. And he was pointing out the errors that Dave was making.
Right. I mean, no, I don't think anybody who majors in philosophy or anything like that would say the same things that Dave was making. And, especially due to the fact that, look at when somebody's making an argument, when somebody's trying to talk about something and an informal discussion, why would you be expecting a formal argument? Isn't that a very odd thing to expect and to demand of them? At the same time,
I think Cliff Stamp said the same thing.
Right. In previous videos, trying to talk about how my argument is fallacious. And I think both himself and I believe Fiona had tried to use the fallacy of division. But then all of a sudden, there's this position being taken to where we can't even say that the argument is fallacious because it's not in a formal sense. I mean, I just think personally, Dave's all over the place. And when we're having discussions, just like when somebody comes in and in a room, they start talking to us about evolution. We're not forcing them to give it to us in an inductive argument. We're not forcing them to do that. We understand where they're coming from, right? And likewise, it's pretty much how everybody else in the great debate community, if you want to call it that, approaches these discussions. So the fact that he demands that it be laid down in a formal way is just ridiculous. Now, if he wants to have a formal debate with me, anybody wants to have a formal debate with me, I'll lay out an argument in either a deductive or abductive argument. And yes, Sam, I know the difference between the two. But if somebody wants it in either format, because I think that originally Dave wanted it in a deductive form. I could be wrong about that. I'm talking about this from memory. I think this is carried on for some time, but in a formal setting, that's when you'll get a formal argument. But in an informal setting, you shouldn't expect that, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't even think it even warrants a response. It's just really ridiculous.
Well, I'm reading these comments here, and again, they're spinning the issue again. Like, hold on, let me scroll down here. Let's see. All right. Let's see. There was one that really stuck out at me. I kind of lost it. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is it? Okay. I see it. Saga kind of says Dave didn't make any errors because he was just trying to open a dialogue with you, I guess, talking to YouTube. But come on, man. That's the reason why you said he was willing to have a discussion with them on his channel. Isn't that not opening up dialogue?
Well, do you want to have a debate or something, Dave? Is that the reason why you want a formal argument? You seem to be wanting to approach my argument in a formal setting for some reason. And to me, the only reason why that would make sense is if you want a formal debate. I have no problem with having a formal debate with you at all. If that's what you're wanting, and if you're wanting to attack my argument or critique my argument, I can give you a formal argument in a debate setting. So yeah, I mean, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking to criticize a formal argument that represents my stance or my phrasing of the intelligent design argument, then well, yeah, you can go ahead and we can set up some sort of debate, and then we can deal with it there.
But I even think the formal way that he was trying to do it, I'm not going to say that I do admire his approach. I do admire his attempt, but I just think, the attempt just fell flat on its face. Because as I pointed out in my response, when you say something like, we've only seen like humans create motors and turbines. So it's like making like sort of a fallacious jump to have an inference to some other sort of intelligence other than a human because we've only seen humans create motors and turbines. Well, that makes absolutely no sense for the same reason as I pointed out in my response. We've never seen other sort of personal like agents other than humans. We've never seen that, but that doesn't mean that based on our interaction of personhood, our interaction of personal existence, that we can't infer that there's the potential for other intelligent life to be on other planets. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, basically his approach was he was throwing away inferences to begin with. I mean, if he throws away inductive reasoning or even abductive reasoning, which is more similar to my approach, obviously, then he's going to be throwing away a lot of other sciences out the window. I mean, many sciences are based on the exact same type of reasoning that my approach is directing. So
Yeah,
he
that
can't
was just
say
a
that.
really, really bad argument. And I think even Cliff Stamp had to point out why that was bad. So I can't remember exactly what he said, but Cliff Stamp and that Brandon P guy, they just like did like what, like an hour and a half or so response, and they pretty much just tore his video to shreds, man.
Well, David Vance is saying that this is a complete bastardization of my video. You know that, right? I I don't know that. I think that we're pretty much
Exactly.
right on the money, but I am talking about it from memory, so I might not have it everything accurate here. I'll grant you that, but I know that after I watched that video, it wasn't that great of a video. It really, I think you did a good job editing it, and you put some effort into editing it, which might have exaggerated what you were trying to say, but there wasn't a lot of great points in that video. I have to say that. I think that you sort of you wasted a lot of time in that video. I'll just put it like that. There was a lot of things were unnecessary, and a lot of it just really did turn science around on its face. If you really were going to be consistent with it, that's just the truth.
And he says there was no justification to make the connection between human artifacts and natural entities. Well, it seems like to me that's pretty much just his personal opinion. That's not really an argument that he can give to really back that up. It just seems like he was just not personally convinced to make the connection. So he just asserts his personal opinion and just says that there was no argument to make the connection. It really just came down to his personal opinion. It wasn't really an argument he was really giving at all. You about to say something?
Yeah, I have somebody knocking on the door. Give me 1 minute, okay?
Yeah.
All right, man, I'm back.
Yeah, all right. But I don't even, what was I just saying? Yeah, what? Hold on. I totally lost my train of thought.
You hear the comment section, they're all pretty much doing exactly what you said they would do. You got Brenda Van Asen saying Ronnie couldn't take a high school course, much less a college level one. Well, he's full of crap. He has no clue what he's talking about on that one. Young Earth creationist logic, that's what, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. That's what he said. They're all pretty much just trolling. I mean, do you guys really think that there was anything of substance with those remarks, right? Is that discrediting anything that we're saying at all? Does that discredit us at all?
Dude, they're endlessly spinning everything. There's no reason to take these people seriously. There's only a select few people that I even bother talking to. There's this guy named John the Naturalist. I like talking to him.
You know what Dave S. though? Dave S. says, I really enjoyed making it because it makes people think about actually being able to structure. They're commenting, dang it. Being able to structure an argument rather than just have an independent assertions. Well, first of all, there was no need for that argument to be rephrased, Dave. There was no need at all. You're acting like it needed to be rephrased. Like, well, like True's argument is so bad, we actually need to help him rephrase it. Come on, get out of here with that. I mean, there were people. I mean, that's why he's bringing in certain people in the great debate that even disagree with me, that we're disagreeing with you because it was utter nonsense. And on top of it, like I'm trying to explain to you, nobody needs to have a formal argument in an informal setting. And for whatever strange reason, I don't know why you think that that's a demand. Like that's something that needs to happen. And by trying to rephrase my argument in several different ways and rewriting it in several different ways because you think that it was bad and you just move on quickly, to different arguments, that's not refuting what I'm saying. And thus far, you haven't refuted what was said inside of the argument. You're just trying to say that the argument was bad in a very poor way, like it's not structured correctly or something like that. To me, it's just very petty. It's petty, and I think that a lot of people notice that too. So to me, I think maybe for somebody who doesn't know abductive or deductive or inductive reasoning or anything like that, it's good to help explain people that, but you're also misleading people at the same time for obvious reasons.
Yeah, when I see people like Cliff Stamp, who doesn't agree with us, again, and as far as I can tell, he doesn't.
Sam said just now, Ronnie is so arrogant that he can't realize that he's being unclear. Other people, just like he's mentioning Cliff Stamp, I think that Cliff Stamp, he disagrees with some of my views. I don't really follow him too much, but I think he does disagree with some of my views because I've seen some of his comments towards me. He was even saying that what Dave S. is saying is nonsense. It's not just one person. There's other people who've been commenting too, thinking that his response was pretty silly. It's not only just me. If he did a good job, I'd say that he did a good job, and I would probably still disagree if he was actually making a point somewhere. Because I don't think that there's anything actually wrong with the argument, obviously, but the way that he approached it was just a bad way to approach it. I'll just leave it at that.
I just think he's just too arrogant just to admit that. And Dave's a smart guy. I give him a whole lot of credit because he definitely makes some very good videos. I mean, structurally, anyway, like as far as editing and stuff is concerned, I think he does attempt to, on some level, make reasons, but he just makes flimsy connections at certain points, and he's just argues certain things that are just that you just can't connect. I mean, again, I can't. It'll just take me forever to go into detail. But if anyone wants to know, just how like nonsense some of the stuff that he was saying, then you should look up Cliff Stamp and Brandon responds to Dave S. And you should be able to find the video. And the video went on for like what, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, I think. And they pretty much go through this video point by point. They just pretty much dissect it from start to finish.
Well, Sam is making an accusation towards my website. He said, Saka, I really think he doesn't understand how incompetent his communication skills are. And I know that that's actually true. You grow up in a multicultural background where people are speaking, multiple different languages. You sort of pick up on from bad habits, and I can tell my bad habits from some of the people who speak Spanish and how they speak English. And it's something that I need to correct myself on. But people that don't know about, that who grow up in multicultural backgrounds like that, they're not going to really get what it is that I'm referring to. So it's, yeah. But what he's referring to, my website right there at the end, that website, when I put that website up, you got to remember when I put that website up, I let people know that website was still in the making. There was a lot of work that had to be done on it. So trying to attack and make accusations towards a website that wasn't complete, and I was only trying to let people have a good idea of what the website was going to be about, and what I was working on that month that I stepped away from YouTube, is not really making any sort of accusation towards me. And I think somebody else, you see what somebody else said. He said, oh yeah, this sock account said, oh yeah, the one where the evil atheist hackers went in and made all those stupid, man, you guys keep commenting, moving the bar. I can't even find the comment now. Where's it at? Made all the stupid mistakes.
Change location real quick, so I'll be back in like a minute.
All right, man. So he said all hackers went and made all those spelling mistakes and plots to make Ronnie look stupid. No, the spelling mistakes were mine. You guys misunderstood what I was referring to. The spelling mistakes were mine. That's obviously true. But what I'm referring to is people there was somebody hacking that site. I know that because they were changing some of the things that were written in the site. And a couple of different times, when you would click on the section that would talk about Abiogenesis, it would link you to Talk Origins and some other website as well. There was another tab, I don't remember specifically, but it would link you to another tab. What I think people were doing were they inserted like some sort of text or something in one of the paragraphs, and it was quickly deleted. And it said something about true empiricism creates art or something like that on that order. And it was quickly deleted. And when it was deleted, I think they over-deleted it. So some of the paragraphs and some of the sentences, they didn't look complete. It was very clear because there was, it was as if a section of the middle of the paragraph was removed. That's the best way that I can explain it. Like the paragraph was leading somewhere to say something, but the middle of it was removed because somebody was just trying to throw in little trollish remarks here and there.
So what was you just reading? What just happened?
We're talking about a website that I actually put together a while back, and I actually am still working on that too, guys. But yeah, I might end up publishing it soon and letting people see it maybe January or so. But yeah, I am still working on that website. I'm trying to set it up to where people can come in and set up their own account on there. And they'll have their own subscriber base. They'll have their own ability to put videos on there and keep in contact with other people that are going to be part of that community. It's going to be the perfect setting for perfect great debate type of setting. That's what I'm trying to set it up. It's kind of difficult for me to get it going because I'm doing the entire thing by myself. I'm not having any help from anybody, and I'm doing it from scratch. So that's kind of difficult. If you guys look at this right here, let me show you guys something. Okay. Darn it, man. Actually, I've been working on this a while ago. I'm going to try to get myself back and working on this. Let me screen share this really quick for you guys. Tell me if you can see this. All right, man.
Yep.
I think I showed you this before. It's on video. This is the coding. Yeah, this is the tags that I'm working for on this new page that I'm building something. I think this is it right here. It's going to be set up like sort of like a Facebook type of thing, and you'll probably have like a little page right here with your videos that you can post right over here. Maybe enter some sort of live like debate setting like a Google Hangout. I was looking into some of the coding though to try to build like something like a Hangout. That's going to be a huge job for me to do by myself. But right now I'm actually just working on like a chat bar, a chat system on the side that's going to have your name, and then the person that you're talking to is going to have his name. So I'm almost done with the coding right here, tags, however you want to put it. But yeah, it is something that I'm seriously still working on. It's just not done yet, and I have a lot more to do. I made the mistake of publishing that quick enough. I was getting excited with it because it was starting to look closer to how I wanted to look. I had the structure of it put together, but there was like they were saying, there was a lot of spelling mistakes over there, and a lot of pages were not even completed on the website. There was several different pages that didn't even have anything on it. I wanted an animation actually when you enter the page, when you first enter the website, with some background music. Some of the animations weren't working out, and I ended up using just an image that was repeating. So yeah, so there definitely was a lot more work to be done with, but I think that the accusation that he's making about the grammar and stuff like that, I mean, that's something that I let people know right after I uploaded it, that the website wasn't complete anyways to begin with. So I just think it was petty to begin with, Sam's accusation. It's just one of those things. They find a way to try to poke at you, stuff like that. That's what they do.
You know what, man? At this point, I'm just like, man, just let them run their mouths, man, because that's pretty much all they do is just run their mouths. And I'll go back to what I was saying earlier. If they can't spin, they can't win, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. Yeah,
so I'm gonna end the hangout, man. Unless you have anything else to say, I think we pretty much said everything we want to say. I guess.
Oh, I just have one more thing to say. Y'all community sucks.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. God bless, man. Take it easy.